and they're not respecting, other people's, boundaries, not really, you know, being able to coexist with other people, So, but they've did that type of thing for a long time, and we still do it today. That's one of the things that I'm trying to incorporate into building a better Phoenix chapter is putting some better leadership, people that are educated and people that have experience working with the elderly and with children and with veterans, and kind of just putting the name out there and making resources available for them so that they can network, and so that people can just be a more aware people, so that we're not stomped all over.
I know the important history and the role of the Brown Beret with Cesar Chavez, and I'm glad that you expounded on that. But I want to know about your raw, dirty history. I mean, you went through a lot. And I think, we talked on the phone. You told me that you were like homeless for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I want you to just tell the audience how you came out of that and what was the catalyst. So let's go back to that. How did you come out of that, and tell us about that.
I was court ordered to get my GED and driver's license. That's how bad it was, because I had been thrown in a cesspool that Andrew Thomas and Sheriff Joe had created, of just arresting people that didn't have any type of guardianship history, or in the mental health care sector. And so as soon as the Commissioner Hensey found out, he was like, well, you were supposed to be in my therapeutic court a long time ago. And so he approached it differently, and the way that he had made it was where I would have to go to prison or straighten up. And so I decided to get my GED. I was living at the Garfield Community Center, Probation Center, and they have a GED program. And I used those tools, but I did pay for it out of my own money. I went to day labor and labor ready, and made my own money real quick and got my GED. And it was a success from there, which I signed up for school, and I ended up transferring a few years later to ASU. It was something new for me. It felt really good to be on my own, and I did all that on my own too. My parents, they're good people, but I had to really kind of just bunker down and kind of just do things on my own.
Why 10 years? Was it about 10 years that you were, why, what's the hold, and how does a person get stuck there, and how can they get out of it?
Right.
How?
It's experience, it's expectations that we have. We just got to get rid of a lot of the things that we expect out of people and out of life, and just kind of enjoy it for what it is. I personally have seen a lot. My parents, they were really, I'm really fortunate to have a mom that took me to Carlsbad Caverns, Niagara Falls, Grand Canyon, all over, always doing something educational, as a military family. And we lived in Germany. My mom was always buying things, and like incorporating education into everything that she did for us. So she worked really hard to get what she has, and I love her to death. But it really takes just going through. You have to go through it yourself. You know what I'm saying? And when you make a decision to do better, you plant that seed, and no matter what you do, eventually that seed is going to grow into something. So you don't have a choice. After you have to. Everybody has it, a volition. So just plant that seed and go from there. Move forward in life, and accept things for what they are. And be aware and conscious of what's going on around you. It's irritating to me because I used to be that statistic, and I've taken a lot of courses that I feel have made me more aware of my surroundings. Not only my Native American brother, but my own history here, my own culture here in Aztlan. You know what I mean? This is a rich, the most richest historical place on earth. But and that's what they teach you in archaeology. I took 222 and 333 at ASU, 222 at PC and 323 at ASU. but that the weather, it's so hot and it's so dry that it deteriorates the artifacts faster than you can dig them up, and there's no way you can get them. But I mean, we're full of history here, full of history. So
What courses, we spoke on the phone about the courses. Well, first of all, before we go on the educational interests that you went into, let's talk about how you felt closed up, like guarded, and you just really weren't interested in opening up and being a giver. And then I think it was education and learning about the classes that you took, how to be giving, and you're just really loving life now. Can you clarify and go deeper into that?
Yeah, I never really talked to people the way that I wanted to. So I avoided a lot of the things that I kind of threw up a lot of barriers everywhere because I wasn't willing to learn. Really, is what it came down to. I was more infatuated with the drugs, with the crime, with the whole mentality of it's a dog eat dog world, because I was a military brat that moved to Surprise, right? That there was no expansion. It was just 1 square mile, right? And I went to Dysart High School, so it was during that time where all of my friends were older too, because my family is embedded. They're from there. You know what I mean? They know everybody. It's a little, town, and I just took wrong corners. And I don't want to stray off of the question, but I worked really hard to get to where I'm at, and I don't see it as a status. I see it as some serious. I mean, in the Bible it talks about it talks. I don't know if you're religious or not, and I don't want to put any religion on anybody.
Don't worry about it. You can talk freely, and I'm not like, oh, you can't talk about religion.
Yeah.
No, I'm spiritual, and I believe in God.
I just want to give part of myself back. I can't have the whole cake, and a big chunk of it. The bigger the better, that you can give back and you can enjoy life with. That's the key to life for me. And my brother told me is happiness. So however you find that happiness, when you do find it, hold on to it. Admire the things that you enjoy doing. And I really do enjoy helping my people out. It's not a big deal, you know what I mean? It's just people needing to be accountable and present, you know what I mean? And just putting themselves out there for people that really, that are just out there to hurt others and just, what are they called? Warmongers? Bullies, I can't stand them. So, it's only the right thing to do. My father, he did a lot of work for the country and, protecting people and the community, and he still even protects the community, and so the only way for me to kind of move forward in life and do good is by, really helping somebody out. And I'm proud to be a Brown Beret. I really am. It makes me feel more comfortable inside that I have something that I can do that's going to help the community out, like an outlet. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things going on right now in this world, and there's really not much for you to do that's going to be, how can you say, productive for the community, and for not only for the community but yourself. So, this is a good outlet, for Chicanos, ex-gang members, people coming out of prison. But I want to say that, that there was a time earlier this year in the Capitol where there was a small branch of Brown Berets that had showed up with firearms and were kind of protesting with another group. And I just wanted to make it clear that we're not a part of that organization. We're nonviolent. We don't deal with guns. We don't believe in any of that. We're strictly a community, a positive community action organization, you know, we're trying to help the community kind of
So
come
you're not
together.
like militant with the gun.
No, Black Panther, none of that. No, I mean, no offense to anybody. I'm just saying, you know.
Because
Excuse me.
there was a good part of the Black Panthers, and they got hijacked just like the Brown Berets got hijacked. You know, there was a struggle there as well as, you know, with our own Brown Beret. But
In history, there was, and if that has to happen in the future, you know, then that happens. But that was a whole different situation, a whole different environment, the politics, everything. That's a whole different thing. But right now in Phoenix, we're just trying to build a foundation. You know, we're a good thing that's going on right now. We're not involved with guns or.
Did anything happen as a result of the Brown Berets?
No.
Okay, good.
Oh well,
That's good, right?
yeah, we shut them down.
How?
You know, well, the main Prime Minister, David Sanchez, he's one of the original Brown Beret. He's one of the original Brown Berets with Geronimo that started the Brown Berets. You know, and so he exiled him. You know, he told him, you know, you can't be in our organization anymore because that's not what we're about.
And we want to give a shout out to Geronimo Blanco, who is still the national commander, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's in charge. He's the man.
We're going to go on a quick break. Right now, the producer is going to take us on a quick 30-second break, and we'll be back. Thanks for tuning in. So, do you see it up there?
Planear tu futuro financiero no es cosa de otro mundo. Llama a Francisco Peralta y te pondrá en el camino más adecuado para proteger a tu familia.
Yo soy Francisco Peralta y te voy a ayudar a salir de deudas, tener un retiro digno, poner a tus hijos en el colegio. Llámame 480-528-9494.
Hola, estamos ayudando a muchas personas. Somos All in All Documents, una oficina multiservicios. Nuestros principales servicios son taxes, notario móvil, administración y registro de tu negocio. Además, oficiamos tu boda civil. Siempre lo más importante son nuestros clientes. Deja tus preocupaciones en nuestras manos, nosotras te ayudamos.
Hi, welcome back to the Tequila Onda show. And I'm Didi Garcia Blaze, your host. And with me is a special guest, Adan Hernandez, who is the commander of the Phoenix Brown Berets. And we've been talking a little bit about the history of the Brown Beret. And we're not talking yet about where you guys are going since you're the new commander, but some history. Adan was in some dark places, and he points out what got him out of that dark place. One of the things I want to talk to Adan about is the classes. I know that when we were on the phone, you told me that there were some classes that just really were mind-blowing and they opened your eyes. What were some of those classes, and what were the gold nuggets that you got from those classes to bring you where you're at today?
It started with a Chicano studies course that I took at Phoenix College. I've always liked history, loved history, and you know, I used to collect money from all around the world. My father was an infantryman, and my stepfather was in the army. He worked, you know, for the government too and stuff. And so I was always into, you know, the things that they brought across from, you know, money, ivory, all kinds of crazy stuff that we used to get, man. And basically, what was the question?
The classes, like some of the classes that you talked about, like Chicanos por la Causa.
Yeah.
What did you get from there? What did you get from that class?
I'm sorry. It's a Chicano studies course that I took.
I mean, that's what I meant. Oh my God.
At Phoenix College, and I you know, started reading books like what the heck is it called? I'm so sorry. You caught me off guard. I had a brain fart.
So, what did
Bless
you
me Ultima.
get from this? I love that.
Yeah, so I was forced to read it for a thing, and like that's what kind of like pushed me to start learning about it. And I took archaeology courses, and I always did extra credit and did, learned about my surroundings, about, Mesoamerica. And then, as I got to ASU, I took Mexican American Borderlands, GCU 421. I took Latina health issues, my upper level division, science and society. I took Filipino history, which was very, very informative when it comes to migrant workers' rights and the establishment of rights, actually, in general. Even learning about the Manila Galleon trade. A lot of people don't know that in versus the African slave trade. You know what I'm saying? It went on twice as long and had like way more people, and it was really bad thing that happened, but that's left out of the history books because they don't want to teach the younger generation about what their real history is, what part they play, and
Right. What was the special wisdom that you learned from Bless Me Ultima? Because I love that book, and they made a movie out of it.
Really?
What was important to you when you were forced to do that for Chicano Studies class?
It was the fact that it was the struggle for me. It was the whole rich, the story just in general. Mm-hmm. The whole thing. Really, if you think about it, I don't want to sound like a goof because I read it once, and like I said, I was forced to read it. I should have read it over and over again. What happened was they came out with a trailer, right? Mm-hmm. And I was waiting for that movie to come out forever. I'm a lazy ass, right? And did the movie eventually come out? It did,
yes,
didn't it?
It did.
And I still haven't watched it, but I need to watch it. Yeah. So.
Well, okay. So now we've talked about a little bit about the history of the Brown Beret, and when did you become the commander of the Phoenix?
It's been about a year.
Really?
Yeah.
What have you done since you've been a commander?
Since I've been a commander?
Yeah.
We actually have a barbecue going on. Well, let me start from the beginning, okay? When I very first got to the chapter, there wasn't that many people that were involved with the Brown Berets. As far as like, I'm trying to establish a foundation as to like people actually being able to go to schools and community colleges and universities, not to be a professor or to go and do a huge job, but just to go be present and offer literature to get people's minds going. Teaching them about Chicano, or maybe even talking to some of the professors about coming in one of the classes and just being present. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Join us on Facebook, do whatever, learn about it somehow, and protecting that right that we have as people, mm-hmm. of human beings, of having an okay environment. I was a military brat, and so I faced racism like you wouldn't believe. In upstate New York, my father I'm the baby of the family. When we moved up there, it was all country, and we lived out on the outside of Fort Drum, and we lived on 200 acres. And so my friends lived out even further out, right? And I used to walk in the streets, and I would hear, the N-word, wetback, spit, oh, get off of my street, from grown men, screaming out of windows. And so I went through that, and I had to learn to deal with that, on top of when I arrived here in Arizona, to, trying to make friends with people that really aren't doing what they need to be to be good Chicanos for themselves and for everyone. You know what I'm saying? That aren't really putting back. See, being a Mexican American to me it really goes hand in hand with having respect for women and having respect for your mother, because you give part of yourself away, and I'm just saying, it's really important to me that I find someone. I got someone in mind. He's a lieutenant commander, mm-hmm. and he's going to be going in. He's part of the National Reserves You know, what do they do? Like 1 month out of the year, they're military.
Yeah. Yep. Well, actually, the reserves are.
And he's in
supposed to do
community
something.
college, so he's interested, and I was telling him about it. And so that's going to be cool. He's going to be going into the schools and providing, you know, literature. I'm getting a lot of banners made and flyers made, like really nice stuff. I'm coordinating a lot of shirts being made. We have a barbecue this Saturday. Anyone is welcome. I'm buying a lot of we're buying as a chapter a lot of carne. We're having people bringing other Brown Berets, bringing stuff. We encourage the community to come out and join the Brown Berets, really, to be honest with you.
Did you hear that, Osvaldo? What? Adan Hernandez is having a carne asada, a barbecue, for the Brown Berets. Can you tell us the address?
Yeah, it's at Cesar Chavez Park on Saturday. It's going to be at 6 p.m.
A las 6. So.
You know what? Let's make it 4 because it's going to get dark at 6.
Ay, a las 4.
Then we can stay till 6, till it gets dark.
Right, so this is,
sorry.
We're going to do a call for people to go to Cesar Chavez Park in Phoenix.
In Phoenix.
What are the major crossroads?
That's going to be 35th Avenue and Baseline.
Okay, 35th Avenue and Baseline.
It's a beautiful park, Aguia's Golf Course Park, where they have the skate park and the libraries. They have a library for the Cesar Chavez Park Library there.
Okay, so go, if you live in
it's
the
a big
Phoenix,
lake. They have, ducks, and
all right.
It's really nice. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. So Adan Hernandez is having, it's sort of like a recruitment, right? You want people to come and see what Brown Beret is all about. So
I mean, that's what we want, but if you want to come out and just be a part of something that the community's putting together, come on out. It's going to be very informative. There's going to be really good people there, not just myself. I'm I'm just a messenger. Really the real people that are going to be out there are going to be the people that are going to be, going to the schools and going to the jails and stuff and helping people out. You know what I mean?
And they're Brown Berets, and what are some of their names?
Well, we have Frankie Wolf Molina. We have Rudy Lopez, which was the commander before me, who's been promoted to National Field Training Officer. Okay. There's Aztec. He's just been promoted to his assistant. There's 3 or 4 other ones. Rumbas is I don't know his rank. I think I don't know exactly what his rank is, but there's a few of us, and so we encourage females to come too, because they're going to be the ones that have the corazón for our group. Really, there's a lot of issues, especially when I learned in the Latina Health Issues course about just some of the chivalry that's been incorporated into a lot of Latinas culture. The expectations of how some men might treat them on the streets. For them to be informed about what their history is and what their struggle behind them. I'm sure a lot of them know, but to exercise doing something positive physically, really goes a long way for your growth and for your health, your overall well-being.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm trying to do, and so I gotta kind of maintain a straight line, not drink too much, I mean, stay away from partying so much, because if I get arrested or something, I don't want to, I don't want to look stupid, you know what I'm saying?
Well, leaders have different standards.
So
if you're going to be a leader of important causes, you need to be awake and you need to be sober. Right. And you're leading a mass of people. Now, if you want to party and do all that, and you want to do it excessively, then right. You might want to just do something individually where not so many people are looking up to you, like children and so forth. And primarily I'm speaking for the Brown Berets. Like at the barbecue, we won't have any alcoholic beverages. When we're on duty, it's strictly sober. You know what I'm saying? We're really looking out for people, and so we got to be on point. So that's just just something that goes hand in hand with helping other people. You know what I'm saying? Well, we're going to go on a quick break. Osvaldo, the producer of this show, is going to take us on a quick 30-second break. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll come back for another segment.
Cuando menos lo piense, regresamos contigo en Frecuencia Alterna, tu espacio en radio.
You do another one?
Just get another.
All right, go ahead.
Este programa llega a ustedes gracias a Taquería La Corita, la mejor alternativa.
Tambo, 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 tambo.
Bienvenidos a M&M Window Trinity, mi nombre es Seferino Moreno. Este negocio es familiar, tenemos con él 25 años de experiencia y nuestros horarios son de lunes a sábado de 8 a 6 de la tarde y domingo de 10 a 3. Contamos con el más extenso surtido en papel para control solar y residencial, o sea, tenemos una variedad infinita de material para el gusto de usted y sus necesidades y nos acomodamos a su presupuesto. Visítenos en 438 Norte, 16 Calle, estamos en el sur de Phoenix. Gráficas en full, color y vinil.
Sorry.
Okay, and we're back. I'm Didi Blaze with the Tequila Onda show, and with me is Adan Hernandez,
Hello.
who is the commander of the Phoenix chapter with regard to the Brown Berets. Welcome back. How can people be recruited to not only just the Phoenix chapter, but how do they contact Geronimo también if they're living in other parts of the state? So let's talk about how they can reach you here locally, and then we can go from there.
All right, we have a chapter phone number. It is 602-710-6138. And then we also have a Facebook page, which is Los Brown Berets de la Causa I think it's just de la Causa. But as far as Geronimo, he also has a Facebook page and a website that you can actually go on. If you Google his name, and learn about him, that's pretty much all you really got to do, because as soon as you start reading about him, his emails, a way to contact him will be, available.
Now, I know since you've been a commander for the past year for the Phoenix Brown Berets, and you've done a lot of things through speakers and education to grow it. Do you talk to the other commanders?
We do. We have a kiva that we constantly are talking, bullshitting with each other, laughing, exchanging success stories, really. Even patches, different areas of the United States, from Houston to Chicago. I've seen people that start from soldier all the way, make it all the way really high, and to see them out there in parades, carrying the banners that I seen, 2.5 years ago, them, building money when I could see that, they were living in a little shitty apartment. You know what I mean? Organizing together, seeing the progress is, my dad, that's something that stands out for me, to constantly progress, even if it's baby steps, just progress, progress before perfection. I really get a kick out of that. And so, there's a lot of different chapters, really. And there's even biker chapters, and we might be starting a biker chapter here in Phoenix.
Okay, so let me make a quick.
If you have a bike, and you're down with the Chicanos.
Did you hear that? So let me just emphasize that if you have a motorcycle, a bike, and you want to join the Brown Beret Biker Club, hit up Adan. Yeah,
and I'll direct you to the right man, which is Rudy.
Rudy Lopez.
Rudy Lopez, yeah. He's a national training officer, but we're fortunate enough to have him from Phoenix. So of course I would go to him for most of my information. But I do have the education and the experience. Rudy is a very good guy. He's from Paramount, California, and he also has a Facebook page. You can add him too. He's part of the Brown Berets. Very informative guy and very old school. I'm a military brat, so what I know is what I got from the system, you know, what I had to earn, you know. But you know, I do have culture, but I have a lot of brothers that have a lot of culture, you know what I mean, a lot of color in their life.
Well, like Geronimo.
Like Rudy and Geronimo, yeah, it's like Geronimo. That's a perfect example, man.
So, what about a lowrider Brown Beret car club?
No, but we actually do security work for the Brown Berets. I'm sure that there's some Brown Berets that have lowriders. I think Rudy might have one.
I think that would be really. I mean, if you're going the biker route, I mean that would be.
We do
really
security
cool.
work, yeah. I'm in the process of contacting Spirit, Majestics, Viejitos,
Okay.
all the different organizations, and asking them if we can just at least provide, you know, for any community, really organized event. You know what I mean? Just to be a part of that. You know what I mean? It's a good thing. It just more money for everybody. You know what I mean? For you know, so that they can, you know,
Yeah, Osvaldo, we need to
successful
do a
at what
lowrider.
they do at the organized. You know, selling CDs, whatever, shirts. You know, doing your thing, getting your hustle on. So we promote that, and you know, so no guns.
No guns.
No guns.
But you don't. I
Or
mean,
flashlights.
No flashlights.
Not even flashlights.
Why?
No, you don't
Why?
get.
Is
You don't
that-
get nothing.
People are.
You're just going there.
Are people overdoing it with the flash? What's going on with the flashlight? What's going on?
I've gotten beaten with a few flashlights, but
Okay. What is a okay? So let's go back to the issue of the Brown Beret. It's kind of felt like it went a little stagnant.
Mhm.
Kind of like, you know. Do you think that the millennials are going to attach themselves to the Brown Beret cause? I mean, where's the growth that you see? What do you hear with the millennials? How are you going to reach out to them?
right. So it really depends on what the topic is. But when on reaching out to them, they have to want to be able to be reached out to. You know, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that we go and visit, you know, everywhere on the streets, you know, to make it known that, you know, we're a positive, non-violent things. If you see us walking around helping people out, we're you can ask us for help. You know what I'm saying? But that at the same time, in the schools, the ones that are, you know, trying to be better, you know, that, you know, you can be part of an organization that and actually take it with you and even help more people and help this thing grow so that we're all connected and we're all networked and we all know what's going on at all times. You know, we all feel, you know, a sense of, you know, unity.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Adan.
You're welcome.
And Adan, again, is the Brown Beret Phoenix chapter commander of the Brown Berets. And basically, if you'd like to get a hold of him, what's your phone number that they can?
602-710-6138.
And the Brown Beret cause is, the Brown Berets cause is alive and well. And just talking to you gives me a little hope that it's going to continue to grow, and we're not going to lose that little piece of important history stemming back from the days when the Brown Berets provided security for Cesar Chavez, and having a message of peace, but being proud of our heritage. So thank you for tuning in to the Tequila Onda show. And again, if you're from the Phoenix metro area, there is a barbecue, carne asada, taking place this Saturday. Cesar Chavez Park, 35th Avenue and Baseline Road.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for listening. Over and out.
Yeah. Come and just get a bite and take off.